In the maelstrom of the Second World War, a conflict of unprecedented scale and brutality, a more subtle, yet equally destructive, battle unfolded. It wasn't fought with tanks or planes, but with whispers and carefully constructed narratives, designed to infiltrate the very fabric of civilian life and twist their perception of truth, honor, and humanity. The ethical tightrope walked by wartime governments was incredibly perilous. How far could a nation twist the truth, demonize an enemy, or inflate its own triumphs before it compromised the very democratic values it claimed to defend? This wasn't merely about boosting morale on the home front. It was about fundamentally altering perception, creating a monolithic enemy, and justifying extraordinary sacrifices. For the civilian populations, propaganda was a relentless, constant companion. It seeped into their daily lives through crackling radio broadcasts, flickering cinema newsreels, daily newspapers, and vivid posters plastered on every street corner. It told them unequivocally who to trust, who to fear, and what immense sacrifices were necessary for the ultimate victory. Consider the deliberate dehumanization of the enemy, a tactic mastered by Nazi Germany. Their propaganda machine, under Joseph Goebbels, systematically portrayed Jews, Roma, and Slavs as subhuman vermin, a grotesque internal and external threat. This wasn't just rhetoric, it laid the chilling psychological groundwork for the unimaginable atrocities of the Holocaust, justifying their annihilation. Allied nations, whilst fighting a just war, also employed demonization, though generally targeting the enemy regime rather than an entire ethnicity. British propaganda often depicted Germans as brutal Huns or caricatured Japanese soldiers as fanatical, untrustworthy figures. Such imagery, while perhaps serving a purpose in wartime, carried its own ethical costs, fostering long-term prejudice. Beyond demonization, Allied propaganda focused heavily on galvanizing the home front. Campaigns like Britain's iconic Dig for Victory encouraged self-sufficiency, whilst America's loose lips sink ships fostered extreme vigilance against espionage. These narratives built a powerful collective identity and purpose, but simultaneously instilled a pervasive anxiety about internal threats and external dangers. Then there were the insidious voices from across enemy lines, designed to sow discord and despair. William Joyce, infamous as Lord Haw, broadcast from Nazi Germany, delivering demoralizing news and cleverly twisted reports to British listeners. His cultured, upper-class accent, combined with seemingly accurate details, made him a chilling figure, effectively sowing seeds of doubt and fear. Across the globe, Tokyo Rose, a collective name for several English-speaking women broadcasting Japanese propaganda, attempted to undermine Allied servicemen's morale in the Pacific. Their broadcasts often suggested infidelity back home or the futility of the fight. Ivatoguri Dakino, later convicted of treason and eventually pardoned, became the most prominent face of these efforts. The cumulative psychological impact on civilian populations was profound and often devastating. Constant exposure to fear-mongering, exaggerated enemy threats, and calls for unwavering patriotism led to widespread paranoia, distrust, and often misdirected hatred. Neighbors were encouraged to report suspicious activity, blurring the lines between genuine vigilance and destructive suspicion. As the war finally ended, the full scale of wartime deception began to painfully reveal itself. The stark reality of the Holocaust, the true human cost of battles, and the extent of exaggerations on all sides led to a deep sense of disillusionment among those who had so readily believed the official narratives. Trust in governments and institutions was profoundly shaken. Yet, the legacy of wartime propaganda continues to echo powerfully today. It taught us the immense, almost terrifying power of mass communication to shape public opinion for both noble and nefarious purposes. It highlighted how easily facts can be manipulated when emotions run high and critical thinking is suppressed under the powerful guise of national unity. The ethical questions first posed during World War II remain acutely relevant. When does a nation's legitimate need for unity and victory cross into cynical manipulation of its own people? How do modern societies protect themselves from narratives designed to divide and conquer or to obscure truth? Even in times of relative peace, the impact of wartime propaganda on civilian populations was far more than just winning the immediate battle for hearts and minds. It was about the profound and often lasting damage inflicted upon their understanding of truth, their trust in authority, and ultimately, their collective historical memory. Join us next time as we delve into the clandestine world of Allied code breakers, the silent heroes who sought to pierce through the enemy's veil of secrecy and propaganda.